Hey Bear Buddies, thanks for joining me for another volume of Furberries Fables. If you enjoy it, please show your support by clicking the like button and subscribing if you haven't already done so. Thanks very much, I hope you enjoy the story. Faint Whispers by Reddit user DredgenSpectre. For the last few years, my home hasn't felt like home. The natural lighting that the windows offer has been washed out. The air itself has been stale. Oftentimes I'd find that two shadow people would walk around my home. At first they didn't seem to notice me, or really ever acknowledge me at that point. When I did see them, which would usually just happen in small blips, it was just of their silhouettes. Sometimes they'd be walking around, sometimes they'd be sitting down. Sometimes they'd stand around, usually in my bedroom doorway. I debated with myself as to whether or not it was just my mind playing tricks, or if I was actually witnessing something paranormal. Despite myself questioning, I know I wasn't entirely crazy because my dog Chowder would also see them. He actually seemed to love them. He was never truly able to interact with them, but he'd often dance around their shadows and would try barking to gather their attention. It rarely worked though, and he would usually just end up tired and deflated. Sometimes, however, when he would bark, the shadows would stop moving, almost as if they were in fact shocked by his calling. I'd often wondered if they could see me as I could see them, or even Chowder for that matter. Sometimes, and it would be very rare at that, they would react to our actions. When that would happen, that'd usually be the only time I could hear them. In response to our actions, they'd speak back to us in faint whispers. I was never able to truly make out what they were saying. In fact, only a few times was I able to make out my name, and even Chowder's too. If I wanted to communicate with them, I'd usually have to move something or make a lot of noise. All that being said, I felt as though I had a strange bond with them. I wasn't exactly fearful of their presence, and I didn't know who they were, or why they were living among us, until I inevitably found out. I died 3 years ago. I died in a car crash while driving home from the dog park. I had died at the scene, and Chowder had passed away on the drive to the emergency vet. My brother and sister back at home were devastated by the news. They would often cry and call out for us by name. From time to time, they would stand in my bedroom doorway and mourn. A few times they had tried to communicate to us directly, but the barrier between us was too strong. All I could seem to cast to them was my shadow, and the occasional noises that I'd make. In return, all I can get back are their shadows and occasional whispers, their muffled, faint whispers.